All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to open up by giving all the praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who were well and preach the truth and truth and sincerity. Shalom to the hopefully elect. And this is the brother Amawan Ayash from the GMS Indianapolis camp, coming back at you with another quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And the title of this lesson is going to be entitled The Mirth of the Land is Gone. And pretty much this comes from an inspiration of a video I was watching, pretty much a compilation of TikToks that the elder from LA, the elder from Micah Allah, had posted on his page, GMS Inspiration of the Almighty, and it was pretty much a compilation of these Edomites, pretty much throwing a fit at the current state of America, and they can see that America is going to shit. People complaining about the healthcare, people wanting Donald Trump out of office, people just complaining about the state of America overall. And we understand according to scriptures that at the end of the day, man, there is no hill in Babylon. So we those of us who are in the know, okay, we understand that from this point on, man, it's only downhill. Okay, America is not going to be great again, and America is not going to rise up and be the ultimate superpower upon the planet Earth. No. All right, the intent that the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai has for this place is that ultimately this place is going to be destroyed and never built back up again. Okay, so I want to open up with the book of Isaiah, 24th chapter, and beginning at verse 10. It says, "The city of confusion is broken down, every house is shut up, that no man may come in." Which the city of confusion is what? Babylon the Great, aka America. All right, confusion in the Hebrew is what? Babal, meaning confusion. And when you look at America, all right, nothing but confusion goes on in this place. All right, you got men wanting to be women, women wanting to be men. Okay, you got this place that allow gender changes and then children of young ages. It's a lot of bullshit going on in this society, man. All right, you got men that like men, women that like women. It's a shit ton of confusion, man. Okay, and ultimately this place has got to go for that. For all the wickedness that has been exalted in this land, guess what, man? The Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is getting ready to take this place out. Okay, verse 11. It says, "There is a crying for wine in the streets." Right, wine going to what? Ultimately, the people are looking for answers as to why America is in the state that it's in. And we understand that ultimately everything is according to the will of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And the reason why America is in such a state of turmoil is ultimately because of everything that has happened to the Lord's chosen people on this land. All right, everything that's happened to the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which indeed are the Israelites of the Bible. So the Lord is paying back America for all the wickedness they've committed against his chosen children. Okay, it says, "All joy is darkened, the mirth of the land is gone." What the mirth meaning? What? Joy. Okay, because there was a point in time where the people of America could live joyfully, man. Okay, but off of what? All right, what gave them the ability to live joyfully? All right, the affliction of the Lord's chosen people, man. The affliction of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, the Israelites. Okay, we know and understand that what? America was built off the blood, sweat, and tears of the Lord's children, man. All right, and therefore, America is paying for that, man, by way of plagues. And ultimately, the Lord's getting ready to deliver the ultimate plague upon this place in the near future, which we know to be the nuclear destruction. Okay, so let's go from there to the book of the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, and beginning at verse 8. It says, "Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed." And the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is hurting our America on all sides, to the point where ultimately America cannot be healed. All right, the Lord is hurting America spiritually, all right, economically, once again on all sides. Okay, we understand the people, are suffering in this place, man. All right, having a hard time making a living. Okay, the spirit of Egypt is failing. Okay, and hey, this is all the will of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. You see, now we deal with that word balm. Okay, let's go into that real quick. The word balm, it's tazaria in the Hebrew. It says a kind of balsam, balm, salve. It says, let's see. Which, when you deal with it, balm is used as a healing ointment. Yep. When you go here, it says what? It says used for the healing of wounds. And America, the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai has wounded America to the point to where ultimately it cannot be healed. And the Lord is going to continue to wound this place, all right, through the plagues. All right, whether it be the famines, whether it be the various different diseases that the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai intends to bring upon the planet Earth. Now, the ultimate wound that the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai is going to deliver upon this place, all right, to take this place out, are indeed those ICBM nuclear missiles. All right, according to Zechariah 14 and 12. All right, this is the plague wherewith the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai shall smite all that have fought against Jerusalem. All right, as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and grab that. Then we'll jump back to Jeremiah 51. This is Zechariah chapter 14 and verse 12. It says, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. And the heat that's going to cause this, the plague that's going to cause this, are indeed those ICBM nuclear missiles, in which the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai has full control over. All right, and the Lord controls the ones that make the missiles, right, pursuant to Isaiah 54 and 16. Okay, and second there's the 16th chapter tells us what, that strong is his right hand which bendeth the bow. So it's the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai that's controlling all this, man. Okay, so let's jump back to Jeremiah 51 and verse 9. It says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country. Try for her Salakia. Let me read that again. It says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone to his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto the heaven and is lifted up to the sky. So ultimately, at the end of the day, man, there's no healing in this place, man. All right, and once again, we understand the reason why the Lord is bringing all these miseries and calamities upon America is ultimately for what you have done to the Lord's chosen people, as well, all right, as America's pride and all the wickedness they committed in the earth, man. Okay, so therefore, all right, the Lord is going to completely break this place down, all right, to nothing. Okay, so these American people, man, they're hoping for, a bounce back of some sort. Well, hey, man, this place ain't going to bounce back, man. That's not written in the scriptures. Okay, Babylon cannot be healed, and that's that. Thus said the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. Okay, so let's go from there, and actually let's grab the Apocrypha. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4, and I'll start at verse 31. It says, miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoice at thy fall. So the Lord is getting ready to bring our misery upon Babylon the Great, aka America, and all those who afflict us. Okay, now let's go to the Edamon and pull that word misery real quick. Give me 1 second. All right, so here we have misery in the Edom Online, it says state of grievous affliction, condition of external unhappiness. It says from Old French, misere, miserable situation, misfortune, distress, and that brought two precepts to mind. For the first part where it said a state of grievous affliction. So real quick, let's go ahead and grab those two precepts. Let's go to the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3, and beginning at verse 1. It says, "This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come." Okay, now when you deal with that word perilous, right, it is the Greek word kalepos, meaning what? Hard to do, to take, to approach, hard to bear, troublesome, dangerous, harsh, fierce, savage. And these are all the same things as he read, state of grievous affliction. Because, when you think of the word grievous, you think of something that's unbearable. You see? So ultimately, all right, the things that are coming upon the planet Earth are ultimately going to be unbearable to the majority of the people. But ultimately, it is what it is, man. They just got to deal with this shit, okay? Because they wax proud against Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. All right, they were bold in their wickedness. Guess what? Therefore, all the evils and plagues and judgments that the Lord is getting ready to bring upon the planet Earth, they're just going to have to suffer them, man. And, hey, keep that same energy. All right, to all you wicked people out there. So let's go from there. We'll jump back to Baruch, but let's go from there to the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 8 and verse 50. It says, "For many great misery shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride." You see? So that's why ultimately the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai is bringing America to naught. All right, to nothing, because ultimately the pride that America has demonstrated in the planet Earth. You see? So the Lord is going to break this place down by way of the plagues, the judgments. That's how the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai is going to bring the pride of this place low. And as the scripture saying in Isaiah the 2nd chapter, the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. You see, this place, America as we know it, man, America does not exalt the names of Yahweh Yahushai. All right, they don't exalt the righteousness of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. All right, the only thing that's exalted in this place is wickedness. Okay, but the Lord, he's going to get his due praise and his due fame. Once again, like Isaiah the 2nd chapter says, the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. And the Lord is going to be exalted through the judgments that he brings. All right, so let's go back to the book of Baruch, the 4th chapter. And verse 32. It says, "Miserable are the cities which thy children serve. Miserable is she that received thy sons." And that's why America is being plagued on all sides, man. Various different parts of America being plagued. The whole of America is being plagued. All right, ultimately, the Lord is bringing these miseries upon America because of what they have done unto us as his chosen people. Right? Verse 33, "For as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation." You see, and the scriptures go into how ultimately, dealing with our plight, all right, this is the day that the heathens look for. Right? What's that? The book of Lamentations, the 2nd chapter. Slack it, bear with me 1 second. Yeah, this is Lamentations chapter 2, and Salakia, keep my eyes on the road a bit. Lamentations chapter 2, and verse 15. It says, "All that pass by clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, Is this the city that men call perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth?" So ultimately, due to the position we're in, we become a mockery, all right, amongst the heathen. All All right, and they look at us as niggers, spicks, coons, wetbacks, all the derogatory terms you can think about. All right, they're not looking at us as the sons of God, even though they know we're the sons of God, but they're not looking at us as such, man. All right, they're just looking at us as lowlifes. All right, it say verse 16. It says, "All thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash the teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly, this is the day that we have looked for. We have found it. We have seen it." You see, and also when all is said and done, we understand that the heathen nations are, in the grand scheme of things, man, they're jealous of us, man. All right, they understand that ultimately, when our power is for us, when Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is for us, nothing can come against us. You see, so there's nothing they can do to overthrow us if Yahweh Bashim Yahushua be with us. Okay, but if we transgress and go against Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, ultimately, that's when the heathens are able to prevail against us, man. Verse 17, it says, "The Lord hath done that which he had devised. He hath fulfilled his word. He had commanded in the days of old," going into what the curse is. It says, "He hath thrown down and hath not pitied, and he hath caused thine enemy to rejoice over thee." It says, "He hath set up the horn of thine adversaries," meaning what the Lord gave power, all right, to these heathen nations, okay, to rule over us, man. And reason being is because ultimately we went off against Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right, when we read further up in Baruch, the 4th chapter, it tells us that, well, ultimately the Lord, he didn't sell us to the nations for our destruction, right? But because we moved the Lord to wrath by sacrificing unto devils, unto idols, okay, and not serving Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, roughly paraphrasing. So there's a reason all these things befell us, okay? But at the same time, the Lord, he's going to turn around and judge this place for what they've done unto us, man. The scriptures say, woe to him that buildeth and establisheth a city by iniquity and blood, roughly paraphrasing. That's America all over. You see, so that woe is going to death and destruction, meaning what? The Lord is getting ready to bring judgment upon this place. You see? And before the Lord delivers the ultimate knockout blow, the Lord's going to pick this place apart piece by piece by piece. Okay, before he delivers that nuclear destruction. Okay, so let's go back to the book of Baruch. It's like I'm reaching my destination. The book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 34. It says, "For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning." So these nations, man, they boast in the fact that they were able to subdue us and take over us, man. But what they don't understand is that the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua gave us into their hands, man. You see? So at the end of the day, it's not of their own strength that they were able to take us over. It was because the Lord gave us into their hands. It says, verse 35, "For fire shall come upon her from the everlasting, long to endure, and she shall be inhabited of devils for a great time." Going into what? That nuclear destruction. Okay, give me 1 second.
Hello, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. What are we taking care of?
Oil change.
Gotcha. Can I open your door?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Perfect. We'll get you in there shortly.
All right, thank you. All right, Shalaki about that. But reading verse 35 again, this is Baruch chapter 4, verse 35. It says, "For fire shall come upon her from the everlasting, long to endure, and she shall be inhabited of devils for a great time." And ultimately, that's the same thing we read about in Revelation, the 18th chapter. All right, about how after America is going to be destroyed, it's going to be inhabited by devils. And you can read something similar in Isaiah, the 34th chapter, because after this place is destroyed, what's going to happen is the Lord, he's going to have this place inhabited by various different desert creatures and various different birds and things of that nature. All right, but as far as people, all right, people are not coming back to inhabit the land of America. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Hey, so with that, I'm going to close out right there. I pray that this lesson was edifying to the body, and I pray that you got something out of this. And without further ado, I'd like to close out by giving all the praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Hakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and preach the truth and sincerity. Shalom to the hopefully elect. And Lord's, I'll see you in the next lesson. Until then, I say shalom.